there's the first story I want to take you through, and this one is in the Telegraph, and the Telegraph talks about how the NDA allies are going to drive a very tough bargain. So these two gentlemen are in the eye of the storm. All of the memes on social media are about them. The two Babus, Nitish Babu and Chandrababu. Chandrababu called Babu Garu normally in Hyderabad. I used to be a reporter on the field in Hyderabad when I was younger. A very interesting man. How this is going to be very tough and sort of unfamiliar terrain for the Prime Minister because he's not used to having to bargain, right? He's always, even as Chief Minister of Gujarat in all of his terms, he has always led a full majority government and he's never had to bargain and compromise and sort of take other people on board. And this is actually going to be a really different change of pace for him. I want to give you an example. I don't know how many of you know what a whip is. If you watched House of Cards on Netflix, you'll remember in the first season of House of Cards, Frank Underwood is given the job of whip, party whip, right? So, what does the whip actually do? When you are in parliament, the party decides on any matter how it is going to vote. So, for example, the Congress party has 99 MPs. So, they have 99 people with 99 votes. And there is a bill that's coming up for consideration. So, the BJP has 240 people. So, they will issue a whip to their members saying everybody has to show up full attendance and everybody has to vote yes or no. Now, up till now, what was happening is the BJP had 303 people of its own. So it needed absolutely nobody. It didn't have to negotiate with anybody. It didn't have to do all of this parliamentary backroom conversations. There's a lot of that happens. Parties talk to each other, say, okay, fine, I'll let this go through, but we'll, the next one or whatever it is. The BJP didn't have to have a conversation with anybody in the previous term because 303 people on its own, it would just like ram roll whatever it wanted through parliament without even having a discussion because that was the power that it had. And it was looking to try and also get a majority one way or the other in Rajya Sabha. And remember in Rajya Sabha, they had to keep suspending people and reducing the numbers, and people were protesting outside, opposition MPs, that sort of thing was happening. Now, in an alliance, so basically the BJP has 240, right? So it does not have the ability on its own anymore to pass a bill. It doesn't have the numbers. So every time it has a bill tabled, it will have to bring each and every alliance partner on board. Each of them will have to issue separate whips to their people. All of those people have to come and then vote. So the BJP will have to negotiate every step of the way. Then the allies will need to be pacified every step of the way. So, for example, Chandrababu Naidu from Andhra is not going to want to do anything that's considered anti-Muslim. So, Uniform Civil Code, for example, there will be a massive question mark on that. Nitish Kumar, for example, has already said that he wants the government to reconsider the Agniveer scheme. Nitish Kumar is also possibly going to talk about the caste census, which was his baby, which the BJP was absolutely against. So all of these things now will will actually come into question, and these are the possible bargains. So I'm reading out of this Telegraph article, right? And the BJP released a statement saying that the Prime Minister has unanimously has been chosen as the leader, and he will be formally elected. Now, sources within the Telugu Desam party and the JDU revealed very hard bargaining had happened, which is the hallmark of a coalition government. Apparently, Chandrababu Naidu, who is a master of extracting his pound of flesh, according to this article, wants the Lok Sabha speaker post. Because remember, when you decide to vote against something or your party's people actually change sides, and we've seen that happen a lot, the question actually comes to the speaker, and the speaker cannot be removed from that position through the entire term. So that's a big thing to ask for. Now, he's also asked for special category status for his state. I want to remind you that back in 2018, Chandrababu Naidu was actually an ally of the BJP, and that alliance actually broke because they refused to give him special status. Now, special category status for Andhra Pradesh means that you get a larger sort of share of the central budget, and there is more concessions in terms of taxation made to your state. Now, we also understand that Naidu has demanded for the home and the defense portfolios, which is really interesting because home and defense are held by Amit Shah and Rajnath Singh in the outgoing government. And these are really close. So home and defense are considered very close to the prime minister. So if you look at parliament, historically also there was the prime minister sitting, and next to the prime minister is almost always defense minister, home minister. These are the powerful ministries. On the other hand, JDU chief Nitish Kumar is also perhaps going to ask for concessions for his backward state, as he will call it. But he's also going to ask for certain berths or certain ministries for his party as well. Desam Party, so Telugu Desam Party has 16 MPs and JDU has 12. And so the Modi government is going to, or the NDA government is going to have to do a lot of negotiation. Now there's one more ally, Chirag Paswan. Chirag Paswan's Lok Jan Shakti party has 5 MPs, and he apparently wants the railways portfolio, which his father had held. And for for a very long time, Ramvilas Paswan held railways for a very long time. And I must remind you that for central India, railways is a really important lifeline and a bloodline, which is why normally people from Bihar, West Bengal, they ask for railways as a portfolio. So that is likely to happen. Now, a couple of live updates, and this is from the Indian Express. This is Rahul Gandhi's press conference where he has alleged that there has been a stock market scam between the members of the BJP, the exit pollsters, and investors, and he has demanded an investigation into it. He said the stock market has been manipulated. Also, as you can, the Agnipath scheme has come under fire. Rakesh Tikhayat of the Kisan Union has said Agnipath, needs to be removed. We've had Nitish Kumar, who is a key ally, saying Agnipath needs to be looked at. In Maharashtra, Chief Minister Shinde has met his newly elected MPs as well. Supriya Sule, who won her seat, and it was a tough fight in Baramati against her sister-in-law, Sunetra Pawar, has said the election has shown that voters rejected the repression of central agencies and the income tax department, the ED, the CBI, and their repression. This is a real strength for Maharashtra, she's been quoted saying. Newly elected MP from Ayodhya region has basically said that the BJP party is not the real Ram Bhakt and accused it of doing politics in Ram's name. Let's take a look at a couple of other stories that are coming in right now about what this government is going to look like. Look, this is another one. This is in print. This one says JDS leader Kumaraswamy is eyeing the agriculture portfolio. Now remember, Kumaraswamy, who is the son of Devegowda, they are agriculturists themselves, and they actually are from the Vokkaliga caste in Karnataka, which is my home state. And the Vokkaliga actually are sheep herders traditionally, but they're largely farmer community. So he's going to want for his party the farm, and he's got 2 seats, okay. But there is a belief that a lot of the winnings of the BJP in Karnataka came in because of vote transfer of the JDS. So they're going to ask for this very important agriculture portfolio. That's going to be interesting to see how much the BJP is going to have to give up and how much they're going to manage to hold on to. There are, of course, back-to-back meetings that are being called right now. BJP is likely to keep top ministries as the ally is asking. So you can see this alliance is already, an interesting sort of push and pull that's happening. This is from NDTV. And they're saying that the main of obviously demands are coming from Chandrababu Naidu, from Nitish Kumar, from Eknath Shinde and Chirag Paswan. And both Naidu and Nitish Kumar are coalition veterans. But the Prime Minister is not a coalition veteran. He has always been a majority government leader. So the BJP, apparently, according to this, story, is not keen on letting go of defense, finance, home affairs, and external affairs. So we know that the rumors from Delhi have told us that the finance ministry and the external affairs ministry were actually largely being run by the PMO, specifically finance. The Prime Minister's office was telling the finance ministry what to do and what not to do. They would like to continue to maintain that control. Of course, defense, home affairs, Mr. Rajnath Singh and Mr. Amit Shah, and external affairs, as you know, Modi took a really keen interest in external affairs, especially, almost replacing the external affairs minister himself, as he did most of the traveling and most of the talking. So we understand they don't want to let go of infrastructure ministries either. So road transport and highways. Remember, we had that conversation about Nitin Gadkari because um, the BJP likes to see itself as a infrastructure building party, and that is one of the main focuses for them. So they're going to want to keep Nitin Gadkari in that portfolio so he can continue the work he's been doing. And of course, the BJP promises in the run up to, among the BJP's promises in the run up to the election, poor women, youth, and farmers, they're going to want to retain some of the portfolios in those areas as well, but they can't retain everything. JDU may be offered from sources Panchayat Raj, rural development, TDP may get civil aviation and steel. But it will be interesting to see how much of this they actually, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about a give and take. And so where this finally, settles. That is the picture of all of the allies as we can see it. Interesting for me to note, you'll see here where my cursor is, that's Praful Patel, the famous aviation minister during the Kingfisher Jet Airways era, who's here representing Ajit Pawar, who himself did not come to the meeting, and that is interesting for me. Um, Also, I want you to remember that Uddhav Thackeray, who's had a massive win in Maharashtra, did not go to Delhi for the India bloc meeting either. But he sent Sanjay Raut in his place. And one possible theory for that is that the Thackeray's never go to Delhi. Delhi comes to the Thackeray's and meets them in Matrushri. That's how it's always been from the time of Bhal Thackeray. And one wonders if that is the reason why Uddhav Thackeray has stayed put. He said, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to meet my new elected MPs. And I'll send someone to represent me in Delhi. So there were some questions that came up over there as well. So, like I said, according to this story in the Hindu, it's possible Naidu will ask for central aid. Naidu met with Piyush Goyal half an hour before the NDA meeting over sources that he asked at this time for central aid for Andhra Pradesh. He's also possibly going to ask for help to continue building his sort of dream capital of Amravati. And we also know that Amit Shah and JP Nadda have been appointed, and Rajnath Singh have been appointed to hold meetings with the allies and bring them on board and actually do those negotiations, from what we understand. So those are the allies. And you can see these three gentlemen here on the right of the Prime Minister who are actually conducting those negotiations. The other question, this one is, there was a question about the oath taking ceremony. Again, look how minutely things have to be negotiated when you're in a coalition. So the Prime Minister apparently wanted to take oath on the 9th of June. It is apparently a date that he feels strongly about and he's attached to for whatever reason. It's also a date that Chandrababu Naidu wanted to do his oath taking in Andhra, but he needs to be present in Delhi for this. So both of those things could not happen at the same time. It was a question of who will blink first. As of now, Chandrababu Naidu has blinked and has moved his oath taking by a few days further. So there, and of course, when the oath taking happens, you will see the cabinet ministers come up one by one to also take oath after the prime minister. And that is when we'll figure out who are the people in the cabinet. Now, the other question that has also happened that has come up, and this is a story in the print, I think, yes, there's a story in the print that apparently there are a lot of big appointments in among the bureaucracy, important appointments that are coming up as well, and we'll have to see, who gets those. I'm just looking at some of your comments in the meantime. Ayub Khan says, as long as the whip of government agencies with the BJP makes no difference, and that's what I'm just going to talk about in a minute. Soham Desai, by the way, Mumbai threw out the BJP. Did not expect that. UCC is required, says Baya Yaga. Will Amit Shah remain Home Minister? Mayank says, I think there is a very strong chance he may. But at this point, like I said, it's really difficult to know what those negotiations are. How's the heat in Bombay? Oh God, it's so hot, I can't tell you. We had a little bit of rain and it just made it worse. Iqbal Chaudhry, any increase in jobs, special railway recruitment? There are still massive issues with jobs and we have to wait for all of this to sort of like settle down. Okay, let's take a look at this story. So basically, according to the print, Cabinet Secretary, Home Secretary, Finance Secretary will become vacant between August and October, and the government is going to have to, choose who to place in these positions. Uh, there was a strong likelihood that the current Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, P.K. Mishra, might not continue for his third straight term. And RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das will also have his term end in December. So all of these, remember, all of these appointments then will have to be weighed in along with the allies before decisions are made. Extension for the cabinet secretary, topmost bureaucrat in the country, will come up, and he's already been given 3 extensions, and so it's unlikely he can get a 4th. This one also, Union Home Secretary Ajay Balla, who is on an extension, is due to end on this 22nd of August, and that will also come into question. So, who will be appointed to these very important posts will also come into question at that time, and the allies will have to come on board. Now, this has just happened. Kangana Ranaut is apparently at Chandigarh airport, and we understand that this individual, who is a CISF constable, who was frisking her behind the curtain that women have to go to get frisked, actually slapped the newly elected MP while she was behind that curtain. The CISF has now said that they will take action against the constable. When asked why she did that, this is the constable, she apparently said that at that time during the farmer protest, Kangana Ranaut made a statement, and this CISF personnel's name is Kulvinder Kaur. She said, Kangana made a statement that farmers are sitting there for 100 rupees each. My mother was sitting there at the time and protesting, and she gave this statement. And apparently, I mean, she's been holding this in for this entire time. Kangana has since then put out a statement saying that she's fine. She's getting a lot of phone calls from her well-wisher. She's perfectly okay. This person came, hit her on her face and started abusing her. I asked her why. She said she supports the farmer protest. I am safe, but I'm concerned about terrorism and extremism increasing in Punjab. She said, I just want to, personally say this, that I am aware of the fact that there is a lot of frustration that has been built in, because consider the fact that this person has been holding in this grudge since the farmer protest. That's a while now. But violence is never the answer. Never the answer, because as human beings, we have to find a way to talk things out. That's what it means to be civilized. And more importantly, that's the Gandhian way of life. Violence is never ever the answer. And so, while it might feel like the suppression has been lifted in the country a bit, we must be careful about how we use these opportunities, and not succumb to sort of base ideas of violence or taking the law into anyone's hands. So violence, in my opinion, is never ever the answer, especially not in this country where Gandhi taught us better. All right, that is the news right now that we have it. Stand by. We will soon put out a story about a possible connection between exit polls and the stock market and why that's being drawn into question as well. For now, thank you so much for joining me day after day. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and if you can, and if you be kind enough to do so, please join our membership as well. It will help us and support us financially. Thank you so much for listening. Have a really nice evening.